Hi, my name's Cameron Carlson with AnimeLocation.tv. I'm here at Ohayocon 2020 with my good pal, Mr. Michael Sinterniklaas.
You almost got my name out right.
Did I say it wrong again?
Sinterniklaas. It's close enough. It's yeah, that's me.
Sinterniklaas.
Oh, Michael. At least you didn't call me Mike. A lot of people call me Mike, and I do prefer Michael. Some people say I look more like a Michael than a Mike. But you said Michael, so that's good enough for me. I don't expect that to be done right. It's complicated. It's long and complicated. It's 13 letters. It's hard. I get it. It's totally fine. In fact, when I call like a customer support desk or something, and they're like, usually it's like a Mr. Michael. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. But if they ever like Sinterniklaas, they even attempt it. I'm like, good for you. You didn't back away from that challenge. And these are strangers who've never met me. It's a support desk. Yep.
As you can tell from the giggles and laughs and me butchering names, it's been a year since the last time I got the chance to talk to you. How have you been?
I've been good. I've been super busy, but I've been good. Yes.
Yes, you have been busy, and you bought a house.
I did. I still haven't unpacked all the boxes. Tragic and true. But boy, homeownership. I need to get a yard guy in there.
Wasp.
Yeah. Oh, there was
our wasp conversation we had at 5 a.m. in the morning.
Thank you so much for your help on that. Yeah, it was a tiny little wasp thing, but little did I know there can be tons of them in there. Yeah. At night, I saw them all sleeping on the outside. They were like 15 and a tiny little thing. It was like as big as the head of your mic. And yeah, they're wasps. And I was like, oh, I should just knock it. And people are like, do not go near the wasp nest. They're going to eat your face, and they can sting without dying, and they'll just keep going after you, and they'll never leave you. And then they'll sting your voice, and you'll never voice act again. So I got a professional.
He got a little help.
Yeah.
So since last time we talked, you had brought up the importance of actually it was important for you to bring in actors and actresses with people from the right ethnic background when working on a show. How hard has that been for you?
Okay, so there's a lot of discussion about diversity in casting. For me, it's less about diversity and more about sort of normalization. Like when you go outside and see the world, it is diverse. Why should entertainment not reflect that? So there are lots of things we work on that have characters of different ethnic backgrounds or other things, even age stuff. Like and rather than just like putting on an old voice or putting on a young voice, we hire people who are age appropriate, and that has been interesting. I want to say it's more rewarding than challenging, though it is challenging. Like on a silent voice, which we talked about just a second ago, before the cameras were rolling. That of course stars a deaf character, and we found a deaf actress to play that role. Who was amazing. And the experience of doing that, I'm sure we've talked about this before, but really it taught me so much about that world and culture. Like the first thing was I didn't even realize, as woke as I think I am, that the proper terminology is not hearing impaired. That is quite insulting to the community. So I learned to say deaf. And again, and then I saw all these like funny, it's a new cultural thing now where we share our humor through YouTube videos and clips. And I saw a bunch of deaf joke YouTube videos that were hilarious. I learned a lot about the culture. It's so rewarding. I really am grateful to Andrew at Anime Unlimited for giving us the extra time to find someone, because the challenge there is if you're casting for VO, I don't know anyone in the voiceover community who's deaf. Because that's not a thing. And even going through agents for it was really challenging. That really goes to Stephanie Shea for doing a ton of extra legwork. And it's funny. So now we've got a reputation. NYV Post has a reputation for like really inclusive casting, diverse casting, whatever they want to call it. And so we got a lot of phone calls from people. Can you recommend an actor of this background or that background? We had a combination one for something. Can you find us a minor, a 12-year-old girl who's African American, but I think biracial, but also blind? And we're like, wow, okay. And
get right on that.
Yeah, get right on that. The trick is, it's not like we have some magical database of everyone from every background. No one does. So we're putting it together. We're reaching out. You got to ask everyone you know. Currently, I'm actually looking for a trans actor. Well, I say actor to be non-gendery, but I'm looking for a trans actress who is for this very important movie. I don't know if I can talk about it, but it's an older movie. It's a very, very big, very important classic movie. And there was one actress who I wish we still had with us, who was a good friend of mine, Maddie Blaustein, who was Meowth in original cast of Pokemon and was so fantastic and would have been perfect for this role. But we lost her early aughts. And I'm just really sad that we don't have her anymore for this role. But I'm trying to find someone else like that, and it's been really, really hard. And we've been anyway. So that's the new thing I'm looking for. Anyway, it's challenging, it's rewarding, and I think it's absolutely worthwhile. And I think it makes all the shows better. we did Mirai last year that got Oscar nominated, and we were actually able to use a child for the kid role, whereas the original Japanese had used a woman, very talented seiyuu, but an adult to play the kid role. And for this movie about a kid having a tantrum for 93 minutes, we thought it was best served to have a kid. And actually, I had lunch with Hosoda, and he told me he was really glad that we made that work. Same thing happened on Ernst and Celestine, where the French producer had said, like, we could not find someone we thought could really serve it. And I didn't expect that a dub of this movie could be so intelligent and serve it so well. And we love that you got a real kid for it and all this stuff. So yeah, we're doing a lot of that stuff. And right now we're working on another movie with a lead kid that is basically the devil. And so getting someone to do like all that crazy energy has been amazing. And this kid is brilliant. And then now we're releasing in a week. Oh my gosh. Weathering with You.
Yes.
The next Shinkai film following up after your name. And we actually have, our female lead is actually teenage. And it's really good. And I think especially for what that movie is saying, it is great to have younger people in those roles.
I look forward to seeing it once it makes its way out in the wild. So, excuse me. So since last time we talked, you happen to be in Legend of Heroes: Trials of Cold Steel 3, a game that many fans have latched onto. How is it like working on that game?
Working on the game has been great, and much like all the other games, I work at that amazing studio. But I haven't heard anyone else talk about it. You're literally the first person who's like, "Oh, you're in this game," but so people latched onto it. They like it. That's nice to hear. I had no idea. No one's like tweeted at me or anything and been like, "Oh, this game." So, yeah,
cool. So
working on it is great. I love it.
So again, you're in another emotional work called Fireworks. How was it like working on that again with Miss Stephanie Shea?
Oh man, Fireworks, that came out a little while ago.
It just now hit Netflix.
Oh,
I believe so. Don't quote me.
It's so funny. So like, so that was from the producers who brought you Your Name. And then the next Shinkai film, because it wasn't Shinkai who did Fireworks, it was the producers. And the next film he did has this huge fireworks sequence. And I was like, I sense a theme. Working on it was great. Stephanie's amazing. She does like, I think the best script adaptations in the business. Working with her on that, we got some really great kids again to be the kids in the leads. I love in a world of mystical, like what is going on here, time shifty, what is it? I like trying to figure it out. Actually having kids go through it, I think, I don't know, for me it just really serves something else. Our lead female, her name's Brooklyn. She was, I think, young Elsa on Broadway's Frozen. So it was great when she had to sing because she's a good singer. Yeah. She taught me this dance, you know, the floss. Yeah. It was funny actually. We adapted. So, okay. Voice acting is the trick about voice acting is you have to be like close to this microphone, but you should sound like you're physical, not just standing in one place being frozen. Frozen. Yeah, comes always frozen. Just let it go. So she adapted for all these running scenes when she's like running away from her mom and having a fight. She would like floss for the running. So instead of like, which like clomps the booth and like you can bump into stuff. If you floss, it sounds like running, but it's not actually. So it was very innovative. We've adapted. Go Brooklyn. Innovative voice actress. Again, one of the benefits of using children who see things a little bit differently.
Cool, because you know what? I need to go see that now. So, working on another film, it's Promare. Promare. Oh. I stink at saying names. Go ahead.
Promare.
And it has gotten several big screen days. How is it like seeing it, come out first, and then they did a redux of it, and it's not that you get to play a little mischievous mouse.
Yes. Okay. Promare has been so extraordinary. I love the movie so much. I actually heard from reps at Trigger that they were telling American audiences to go see the dub. They like the dub. They love the dub. They think the dub came out great. It's actually, the dub is so popular even in Japan that one of our lines, our extra gayest line, Stay With Me, trended in Japan on Twitter, and they released our dub theatrically in Japan. Okay, so I've done some weird stuff, like Mirai was the first anime to be Oscar nominated that wasn't a Studio Ghibli film. That's epic and groundbreaking. But I don't think I've ever heard of a dub playing in Japan theatrically. Yeah. So for me, that's like the biggest woo ever. And by woo, I mean accolade, accomplishment, humbling flattery. So I can't believe that our dub is playing in Japan. Holy cow, that blew my mind. I love Promare so much. I want to see it again and again and again. I got to see the 4DX release, which was amazing. And I sat next to Erica Lindbeck, and And at some point she was like, what is even going on? I should have worn a sports bra, which to me was the funniest thing of the night. Thanks, Limbeck. And then I got to play the rat, which is cool for a couple things. One, I was like, all right, who in this mostly LA cast is going to even understand New York enough to be a New York rat? I was like, I'm a New Yorker, and I played Tunnel Rat in a G.I. Joe, so sure, I'm qualified to be a rat. And but also he's kind of a Pokemon. He just says his name over and over again. But what I found out was a friend of mine was approached by the U.S. rep. I think it was Will Fang, who's amazing, whose name is so big in the credits. And we were like, Will Fang! Will Fang. Hashtag Will Fang. Look up Will Fang. Go look at Will Fang on all the social media. He works with Trigger. He's in the States. And through my friend Alex, who's an amazing animator and works on a bunch of stuff at Titmouse with me, she's got a relative that's like in politics somewhere in New York. I don't know. They got the Studio Trigger people to have access to the Yonkers Firehouse. So they're credited in the movie. But there's all these pictures they showed at AX, and I saw them because I'm friends with some of these people, of Studio Trigger people like putting on the gear, holding the jaws of life, putting on the hat, getting a hose, and like getting on the fire truck and like getting their hands around stuff. And it really affected the movie. Yeah. So there's this one like little bald fat dude. Well, he's short. He's not fat. He's like this little guy named Vinny. He was like, hey, I'm Vinny. I'm the firefighter guy. And they loved him so much that they put him in the movie as Vinny the Rat. So it's really an honor to play Vinny the Rat, who had a special credit. Like it was weirdly like kind of a featured, and Michael Sinterniklaas as Vinny.
Alrighty. So you also mentioned in our last interview that you got to play Mr. Atsumatsu. And how has that project been going?
Osamatsu. I don't know when it's coming out. I can't wait for it to come out. It's amazing. We're all sort of not the brightest or nicest sextuplets. I play the sweet one, also known as the dumb one. Not totally unlike Dean in that way. Venture from the Venture Brothers, which I also play. And it's been really, really fun. The cool thing about that has been when I was announced for it and people were messaging me about it, I got a lot of really useful input from fans of the show, who are primarily female, which worries me because they're like, I love this one, I love that one. And I'm like, you can all do better. They're very much fixer-uppers, and I'm sure there's an appeal to that, but you look outside of that. Please find better people than those brothers to marry one day. Anyway, but they've given me lots of really useful insight on what my character Jushimatsu is actually like, and that he's not really just dumb, he's insightful, he's sweet, he recognizes what the other brothers need, and in his dumb way or in his self-deprecating way will make everyone else's life better. So I think he's wonderful, but I still don't think anyone should marry any of these brothers. They're horrible people.
Alrighty, and one final question before we get into the final two is you got to work on Pop Team Epic, which was just bonkers to the wall, and you got to play off somebody random each time. So how was that?
That was cool. I realized it was with Sean Schemmel. The funny thing is the way it was set up technically, because they're remoting from Dallas to LA, I didn't get to hear Sean really. So we're all doing it kind of wild and then like seeing how it fits together later. It's like one of those those drawing things where you like draw a head, then fold it over, and then draw a body, the Immaculate Corpse or whatever. I don't know. The Frankenstein anime dub. And the hardest thing in that was there's a thing where they show like the director of something like doing like the caption, like the picture-in-picture, commenting on a thing, and it was like just tons of dialogue, and that was so hard. But it was like a weird live action dub in the middle of that Pop Team Epic. I love Pop Team Epic. It is so funny. And I hadn't seen it before I worked on it. And I was like, what? We do the same thing backwards? What? It's kind of genius. It was really, really fun. And then Sean and I were like, hey, we did this together. I didn't hear you. You didn't hear me. We did this together, though. It's fine. We actually talked about that like just a couple of weeks ago, me and Sean. Yeah.
Well, Sean's a cool guy. We've only got the chance to meet him once, but he's a cool dude. Yeah, so we hope to meet him again sometime. Now, finishing things up, what projects can we hope to get from you?
In a week from the time of this recording, Shinkai's new film Weathering With You will be out, and it's epic. I really, really, really want to hear what people think about this movie. I feel like it will cause discussion, and I can't wait for that. It caused a lot of discussion during production, and I don't want to tell you anything about that because I don't want to spoil anything. It's a Shinkai film. It's going to be good. It's the most gorgeous thing I've seen animated too. Like Your Name, Kimi no Na wa, to me is like the greatest film ever. And so many people were so gracious in saying it was their favorite. You know, we just had the new year in 2020 that it was their favorite anime of the decade. Some people say it's their favorite film of the decade. I loved seeing that, and it was really, really sweet. This one is even more beautiful. I think they just gave him a blank check and they were like, good job on that last one. Do whatever you need on this one. I can't believe it took 2 years. It was 2 years. And I've seen it with some animators, like at screenings and stuff, including like my friend Brian Ellis and Alex, who I talked about before. And, you know, we watched it together and they're like, oh, as animators, like just that turnaround of the laptop. Oh, the bag of chips. Oh, that would have taken me a month. And yeah, it's like show off beautiful. The raindrops are just perfect and amazing. And then in some ways, I'll just say this. It kind of feels like certain beats are very much like Your Name, but the movie is not Your Name at all. It's not. It's always something new. You're like, oh, that sky. Oh, they're yelling each other's names. Oh, the way the music. Oh, the radwimps. And then like, wait a minute, what? This is not what I thought I was getting into. It's so cool. So I want people to be surprised and I want them to talk about what they think of it. I think also old people and young people are going to see it very differently. And that's why we wanted young people to play those leads. And I can't wait to hear people talk about it. That's what I'm so excited about. What else have we got coming out that I can talk about? There's so much going on. There's so much I can't talk about. But Weathering with You is like the main thing I can't talk about, and it's so big and it's so huge, and so much stuff just came out on Netflix, like you said, fireworks. But one thing that I really want to talk about, MFKZ. MFKZ was so beautiful. It's a French graphic novel that was animated by Studio 4°C.
Oh, really? Okay.
So like you had me at 4, and we got some cool celebrities in it. We got Danny Trejo and Michael Chiklis and Dasha Palancha. Dasha, who is in Orange is the New Black, Giancarlo Esposito. Yeah, it's really cool. And then Ken Michaels plays the lead. Oh, Vince Staples, rapper Vince Staples, who's amazing. And it was my date to the My Hero Academia Funimation theatrical premiere. He loves anime. And that's how we kind of found him, because he was tweeting about anime stuff. And he's super into My Hero. And he's a genius. He's like 25 and a genius. Like an uncompromising, just like has his perspective on things, whatever. Anyway, so he plays one of the leads. Ken Michaels, who's our lead in Cannon Busters, he's the other lead, and the thing is so beautiful and bananas and like grimy and gorgeous, and it's on Netflix now, so you can see it. MFKZ. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that just came out. Oh my gosh.
All right. Final question before we let you go eat. Where can we keep up with you online? And what message would you like to give to everybody that's keeping up with your crazy antics?
Oh yeah. On Twitter, I'm at mcinter, and then incongruously on Instagram, which I'm gonna start posting photos. I need to I got this nice camera, I never post its photos. I'm gonna start doing that. I'm at MS Word, which would be my DJ name if I did that instead of what I do. Yeah. So please follow me on there and see stuff. Also, NYV Post is on both Instagram and Twitter, and we're yeah, we did a bunch of like giveaways and stuff for the Promare re-release, and yeah, so people have been like psyched about free stuff and finding out stuff that comes out first. So like us, like G Kids and NYV Post are releasing a lot of kind of important like stuff going on, and like where to find tickets. Also, like for that, I don't know when this is going live, but like if you got to buy tickets for some of the stuff early, Promare sold out immediately. Yes. Weathering with You is already sold out, like in most parts of the country. Like hurry up and get tickets. So that's where you can find me. And a message. I know I always come to sleep when I'm with you because I always come to sleep when I'm with you because I want to sleep with you. That's what it is. There.
I love you too.
You got it out of me. That's my confession. My love confession is I want to sleep. By sleep, I mean go to sleep because I never get any. But no, I'm not going to talk about sleep again. I think it's a new decade and there's potential for all this new stuff. One of the things I've talked about a lot in our inclusive casting or our representative casting is making everyone feel more together or represented or included. And I think that's the main thing for everyone. Like as a kid who moved around a lot, I was a new kid in school a lot. So when anyone else was a newer kid in school, I would make a point of like reaching out and being like, hey, welcome. It's my main thing about doing conventions, actually. Yeah. I still don't charge for autographs, although I'm being pressured to. I did take some donations, actually, for the Australian fighter relief stuff. And but the main thing I come to conventions for is to be together with people and make people feel included in stuff. There's of course, there's a barrier to these fictitious worlds that we tell, and the only thing that you can do is like that's tangible is meet people who worked on it. And I just want everyone to like make a point of coming together. I mean, this is going to sound pretty Pollyanna, but I think more and more there's crazy division in the world. No matter what the division is about, I think as long as we just like talk to each other or see each other as human beings and like have a conversation, I think we can work it out. we haven't blown up the planet yet. And I think that's because ultimately, like, people want to be social, and then sometimes things happen that drive us apart. But my goal for everything moving forward for this decade is to consider, like, deliberately being inclusive of everything and everyone, and just trying to get along with people and hear people out. Like, I want to listen better and just not assume things. So that's kind of the thing. Like, let's all come together and hug or hover hands, you know. Great.
Thanks, Mike. It's been wonderful talking with you. Thank you, guys.
Good to see you.
Yeah.